What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Doomsday Clock issue number 2 video. Now, I was actually going to do a proper video camera piece here, but, well, my tripod decided to break just as I was about to record. So, yeah, that's why you're just getting images with this video. But this issue just blew my mind. Now, there will be spoilers for the copy of Doomsday Clock number 2, and if you're new to the channel, a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video is super appreciated, and please do subscribe if you're new with notifications on so you never miss a video, once again if you enjoy what you see and hear. But Doomsday Clock number 2 is really a stunning, mind-blowing tour de force of really emotions and fan service and absolutely everything. It really did kind of deliver in this second issue. I did the first issue, I did my review of the first issue on the DC Fans channel, and why I really loved it. It just gave us really no answers and didn't really give us the smashing of two worlds that we were expecting, but this was pretty much the first issue, as I've read it again, made us realise that kind of gave us a continuation of what was going on in Watchmen and setting up where the Watchmen world is before it gets obliterated in a nuclear holocaust, which is what we got in Doomsday number 2. And this really is just Adrian trying to do his absolute level best of saving his world by finding someone who is completely betrayed and, in his own words, manipulated, and he's tagged along a kind of a remake of the Rorschach. So it's kind of very funny there that we actually get the original one was a kind of a bleak take on superheroes, a mocking of superheroes. And that is essentially what we got here in Doomsday Clock with Rorschach. And we also have a mention of the original supervillains and superheroes, or kind of the masked capes in the Watchmen world. And it shows us that, well, we had an absolute plethora of villains. And I guess that's trying to show the idea of the original comics in the golden age, where everyone was making a comic and chucking any character out and seeing what happens. The ones didn't stick, well, they got trash canned, which is pretty much what they said in this issue. So it's really a good take on the world of comics, and the melding of the two worlds here is really cool. I loved the way we saw the Night Owl's ship fly through, well, time, space, whatever it is, because we're not really sure if this Watchmen world that we have is part of the multiverse. We don't know whatsoever, because they never mention or give it a world designation. They don't mention the multiverse as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've seen. So if I was wrong, just let me know down below. But the two worlds was amazing. It's interesting to see that our DC Rebirth world, I'm not sure if you can call it, I'm just going to say that the DCU from now on, which is going to be my designator for the current world of actual DC Comics, the main timeline, because this is actually ahead. I believe it's about a year ahead of the comics that we have coming out at the moment. So that's why the anti-Batman sentiment is an all-time high, and we've got a Lex Luthor storyline which we haven't seen just yet. So that's pretty darned awesome that we've got that. And I really love the fact that we have Ozymandias go after the smartest man in the world, which is, of course, Lex Luthor, and also there's Bruce Wayne. So Rorschach goes after Bruce Wayne, and they basically go after their most fitting counterparts, of course. Now, it's really amazing that we learn that, well, there aren't really any metas in the Watchmen world. There is pretty much just Dr. Manhattan, and that is it. And they head to the Gotham Library, and they find out that really most of there's a hell of a lot of metahumans, and there's a lot of metahumans concentrated within the United States. So it seems like they are searching for this person, searching for Dr. Manhattan, but they're not able to find just who he actually is, because they recognize that he may have changed his name. Now, a lot of people are thinking that this could be the reborn Captain Atom. So there was the rise and fall of Captain Atom and that is possibly who Dr. Manhattan has been disguising himself as. Now, they have a similar story, a willing test subject and things like that, so they're very, very similar. So if Dr. Manhattan has actually reborn himself on this world, if he has recreated or created his own world, which is going to be the New 52, well, what he would most likely do is have a similar backstory as he did in Watchmen, have a very, very similar kind of nuclear explosion thing going on. So that fits quite well. And the question is, did he create the metahumans? Because the metagene has been, well, there's about 12%, I think, of people have the metagene. I can't remember exactly what it says in the kind of the text at the back of the issue, but it was really cool that the metagene has been mentioned, although I partly think it's very similar to the X gene in X-Men and Marvel. I know you're going to say, oh, the metagene's its own thing. Yes, but saying that it becomes activated when they become frightened or a frightened flight, well, that is pretty similar to the X gene. So that's pretty much what's going on there. Although the metahumans over in DC Metal, they're created due to exposure to the nth metal. So I'm not sure which origin is correct there. I know this is going to be the flagship thing and DC Metal is something of its own. So I'm not sure if they are going to merge together, but we know that once Doomsday Clock has ended, the rest of the DCU will catch up with it. So time can only tell when Dark Knight's Metal is still actually going on. So we don't know about the culmination of that just yet. But the art in this is next level, and I loved the comparison between Rorschach. We have the new Rorschach looking through the Batcave and kind of lamenting the fact that, well, this is why they always get their villains, because they never let go of any of these things. So he has the whole trophy room and things like that, which I thought was really, really cool. I loved the way that that worked out in there, and the comparisons and walking through. It just really was fun to read. I enjoyed seeing them together, and Batman saying, "You ate my breakfast," which was absolutely just brilliant. Now, it seems like Ozymandias is going to do anything he wants to actually get his world back and save his world, and that means giving Lex Luthor what the hell he wants. And LexCorp, or Lex Luthor at least, wants to take over Wayne Enterprises, who seemingly have the leading insight into just what is causing this metagene that was discovered during Invasion. Invasion, of course, being when the Dominators invaded Earth in one of the kind of the first event post-Crisis, or Crisis on Infinite Earths, that is. So it's quite big things going on here. And we also have Metamorpho, who had a brand new origin in the fact that he was involved in an experiment sanctioned by the US government. And he is also going to be part of the Terrifics along with Plastic Man. And that's spinning out of DC Metal. So really weird stuff going on there. Really, really weird stuff. A lot of stuff being set up for the future here as well. That was in the kind of back pages. And we also see the Comedian is back. How? I'm shocked. It's been a day of complete and utter shocks. Not only has Captain Cold trapped the Flash, we've also got the return of the Ultimates in the Marvel Universe, which I'll do a video on at some point as well. So the fact that the Comedian is back is huge. Maybe, now this is me just really speculating, that Dr. Manhattan actually set up the Comedian to return to hinder the progress of Ozymandias' insight into what is going on in this world. And he doesn't want to be found out whatsoever. And he doesn't want to go back because he's creating his own universe, which we got in the after Watchmen. I think it's the before Watchmen world where he wanted to go and create his own world and things like that. So that's quite big there as well. Now, also in the newspaper clippings, or not even the newspaper clippings, it's website screenshots, which is an update on the newspaper clippings or the Tales of the Black Freighter from the original Doomsday Clock. We have the mention of green fire, which is, there's a green fire going on at a warehouse, which Alan Scott, the Justice Society, being hinted to come back as well. The hints towards them have been massive. Of course, we have had the big one, which is Jay Garrick, return in the Flash briefly, but he needs someone. He needs his own lightning rod, or whatever you want to call it, which he hasn't had just yet. But the green fire at the warehouse is similar possibly to Alan Scott. And we also have Bannerman Chemicals, or whatever you want to call it, the kind of the medicine firm, which is what gives the same people who make the thing that Our Man uses. So these worlds are being created, and it's just weird that they have the connections to the Justice Society as well. But it's an overall fantastic issue, which I highly recommend you going out and picking up. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.